U.S. President Donald Trump has escalated his feud with former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, threatening to revisit the decade-old Bridgegate scandal. Trump posted on Truth Social that Christie lied about the George Washington Bridge Lane closures to protect himself and avoid prison. He suggested the case should be reinvestigated, declaring that no one is above the law, even though courts cleared Christie. Christie was never charged, but two of his aides were convicted before the Supreme Court overturned those verdicts in 2020. Once a close ally who led Trump's 2016 transition, Christie has since become one of his fiercest Republican critics. The U.S. president lashed out after Christie accused him on national television of politicizing the Justice Department. On ABC's This Week show, Christie said Trump has turned the Justice Department into his personal legal defense team. He pointed out that Trump warned during the 2024 campaign that he would use federal power for his own political purposes. Christie highlighted the FBI raid on Donald Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton's home, contrasting it with the president's own classified documents case. He said Trump's outrage is hollow, given the FBI once seized sensitive files from Mar-a-Lago under a lawful search warrant. Christie also rejected praise of Trump from Ghislaine Maxwell, an associate of Jeffrey Epstein, arguing that her glowing remarks were less about truth and more about seeking a potential pardon from the president. Remember, Maxwell told investigators Trump was always cordial and kind, but she is serving 20 years for sex trafficking crimes. She has appealed her conviction while signaling hope for clemency, something Trump has hinted he is legally allowed to grant.
In 1990, I had come over to New York to help look at some of that. He was having some advertising issues with the New York Daily News, and in fact, I may have met Donald Trump at that time because my father was friendly with him and liked him very much, and I think it should be said that he also very much liked this notion that he blackmailed men, or we don't really have to go there, that he wasn't a businessman and that everything he did was a fraud or a funk or whatever. I don't believe that to be true.
Why?
Sorry?
Why do you? So you say you don't believe it to be true, but show me why you think that.
Okay.
Just from, I know you've been talking about it, that he was very conscientious. He was very good at math. He paid a lot of attention to his clients. But yes, you're right. There's allegations of blackmail, or also that there was some level of fraud involved in what he did, and you don't believe it. Why do you say that?
Well, let me rephrase that. If there was fraud, I never saw it. What I saw, or what I felt when I ran that office. I was responsible for the staff. People worked. There were lawyers. There were accountants. I never heard him. I never felt anything, icky. And
you mentioned that in the very beginning of the conversation, you mentioned President Trump in the early 90s.
Yes.
What did you observe as far as President Trump and his relationship with you or Mr. Epstein?
Well, I just want to say, for my relationship with President Trump, relationship's a big word, but I just want to say that I met him, or I believe I may have, because of my father in the 90s.
Yep. Okay.
So my father liked him very much, and he really liked his wife as well, because they were both Czechoslovakian. And as far as I'm concerned, President Trump was always very cordial and very kind to me. And I just want to say that I admire his extraordinary achievement in becoming the president now, and I like him, and I've always liked him. So that is the sum and substance of my entire relationship with him.
What about Mr. Epstein's relationship with him?
I don't know how they met, and I don't know how they became friends. I certainly saw them together, and I remember the few times I observed them together that they were friendly. I mean,
Was that in social settings, or was that in private settings?
I believe I only ever saw them in social settings. I don't recall any private settings.
Did you ever observe President Trump receive a massage?
Never.
Did you ever observe? You said that you were. I mean, have you seen there's photographs, public photographs of Mr. Epstein and President Trump together?
Yes.
And there's photographs of, I think you're in some of the photographs as well. Those all appear to be social settings.
Yes. That's my memory. If there were social settings, I don't know Epstein's. If he had whatever the nature of the president's friendship, if you will, or however you want to define that with Epstein, I was never witness. I think they were friendly, like people are in social settings. I don't think they were close friends, or I certainly never witnessed the president in any of. I don't recall ever seeing him in his house, for instance. I actually never saw the president in any type of massage setting. I never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way. The president was never inappropriate with anybody. In the times that I was with him, he was a gentleman in all respects.
When's the last time you think you saw in person President Trump?
It's been a long time. Probably not. Sometime in the beginning, mid 2000s maybe, and it would only have been a social setting, as far as I recall.
And did you ever hear Mr. Epstein or anybody say that President Trump had done anything inappropriate with masseuses or with anybody in your world?
Absolutely never. In any context.
There's been a lot of conversations about whether Mr. Epstein maintained like a list of people, like a book of famous people that he knew, it's called a black book or a client list or a list. Did you know of the existence of any such list?
There is no list. We'll start with that. The genesis of that story I can actually trace for you from its absolute inception, if that is what you're interested in.
Well, first, to be short, there is no list, there's no client list, nothing like that.
No, there's nothing like that.
That you know.
That I, obviously.
Right.
Yeah. So that narrative that was created and then built upon and it just mushroomed into what, basically this is like a Salem witch trial. People gone lost their minds for this thing. I understand that. But the issue is, how do you satisfy a mob who can't understand the lifestyle because it's like P. Diddy in Redux on TV with Clintons and Trump? I mean, it's bananas. And while some of it is real, he did do those things. I'm definitely not disputing that. But this was a man, he didn't even believe he had a real business. I happen to believe he did. Did he grip? I don't know, because I wasn't really in his business. But this is a one man. He's not they've made him into this he's not that interesting. He's a disgusting guy who did terrible things to young kids. You're not going to hear me say what he did to people who are over the age of 18. I'm sorry. I'm not going to go there. That's just not what I'm here to